Good evening, New York. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling, City Air? It is a pleasure to be here this morning. I'm Kristina Marrett. I'm 22 years old, and I'm the proud service leader for the South Bronx City Heroes. That's right. And we serve at Bronx Guild High School. Woo! Shout out to Jeff, Dana, Sam, Dino. Love you all. Once again, I'm Kristina, and when you meet me, you might not know, but I'm a first-generation American. Both of my parents are from Jamaica, and as you may know, many recent immigrants, when they come to America, they deal with a lot of stress. My father worked as a building manager, and my mother worked long hours, long hours, 2 jobs, right, Mom? As a nurse's aide in a nursing home and an aid center, and I'm so proud of her. Mom, just want to say that I love you. And one thing that my mother has taught me is that my circumstances never determine my outcome. My circumstances never determine who I'm going to be in the future. And I think that's what's carried me along in life. I grew up in a neighborhood that wasn't the best. There were a lot of hard obstacles, and I considered the Bronx at the time to be a place that was gloomy and dark, a place where I thought was forsaken. If you went anywhere else in the world and came back to the Bronx, it just looked a little darker. And it was really just hard for me to deal with. So my mind was set on leaving the Bronx and just going far away, but I'm still here. I wanted to go far away. So for my 3 years in junior high school, I was the best student. I did all my work, and I never got below an 85% average for 3 years. I thought that I would definitely get into the top schools in New York at the time, which were Stuyvesant High School, Bronx High School of Science, Brooklyn Tech. But to my surprise and my dismay, I was put into a lottery with a lot of other New York students at the time, and I was chosen to go to one of the 2 schools in the Bronx with the worst reputations, Theodore Roosevelt High School, at the time. And it was really hard for me to deal with. I was devastated that I was put into what my friends would call a dead-end school, where other students from other schools who were kicked out were put into Roosevelt. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm a little dramatic and a little out there. So when I found out, I would just lament to anyone who would listen that the world had come to an end. I said, oh God, why me? I'm gonna get slashed, I'm gonna get killed, I'm gonna get jumped. But I need you all to put yourself in my shoes and remember when you were in the 9th grade starting a new school. It was hard. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was walking up the stairs the first day of school, and I saw a young lady who was a senior. She had to be about this tall, she was really short. And she bumped into a freshman boy who was like 6 feet tall, and he bumped into her by accident, and she got so upset, she threw her stuff on the floor, and she kicked him in the back. Imagine a short girl this tall kicking a guy 6 feet tall in the back. I was horrified for weeks. I couldn't get past it, and besides that experience, my first year was a blur. I can't remember my teachers, and I can't remember my classes. I was only 1 out of 4,000 students in that building, and 1 out of 33 students in almost all of my classes. I was only a shadow of my true self and my full potential. One day I saw an announcement for the Project Jump mentoring program, and I signed up. And Jump gave students an opportunity to go to Tennessee for the summer and join an Outward Bound group. And that experience was my aha moment, the time when I found myself, the time when I saw my potential, and then I decided to reach it. Little did I know that this experience would cause me to climb a wall that was flat. They call that rock climbing. I insisted that there were no ledges, but when I placed my hand where the instructor told me to, I was able to pull myself up. I slid down a zip line from the top of a tree, and I signed a death waiver before we went white water rafting. I think I really pushed myself. But the day I came back home, I came back to a sad reality. The streets were still dirty. The drug dealers were still in the corner, and my friends were still pregnant or dropping out after 3 years in the 9th grade. I was a new person, but I found myself in the same surroundings. Right now, I need all of you to help me by standing in front of your chairs. We can all just stand up, stand in front of your chairs. We're gonna have fun. If you just look to the person to your left, look to the person to your right. If you can, look across the room and see how many people there are in this room. We all represent the students that I went to high school with a few years ago. Now I need tables, everyone to sit down except for tables 17, 24, 29, and 44. So everyone's sitting down except for those tables. It's 17, 24, 29, and 24. Now, those of you who are standing, I need you to look at each other. You represent the few students who graduated with me 4 years after my freshman year. If you just stay standing. When I came into Roosevelt, I entered a class, an overcrowded class of over 1,000 students. And when I graduated, my graduating class was less than 200 students. And I had to ask myself, how is this even possible? And I wondered why more of my friends couldn't have the kind of experience that I had, where I was able to see that there was more to life than what was right in front of me. Despite the odds, which are great, I was determined to be standing, and my